Burns, a high fly ball deep to left center, and the first thing she sees, never a doubt about it. And this team can send them out very often, very quickly, as they have done tonight.
And this is what we expected, Darren. We expected them to come out swinging. She knew what she was looking for. She came out against Caitlin Terry and knew she wanted something that was a little elevated, probably on the inner half, and just puts a healthy swing to it. That's what you're going to see from this Buckeyes lineup. You're going to see powerful swings. You're going to see them packing big, and they're not going to be fearless to go and swing, take 3 healthy, good cuts up at the plate.
92nd home run of the year for Ohio State.
Both Ohio State and UCLA are among the nation's leaders in doubles and extra base hits, but Ohio State is clocking in, like you said, at 92 home runs now after that home run, and they're leading the nation in that number right there.
Quarter cracks a chopper right in front of Terry, and has to hurry, makes a nice turn. 2 down.
Nhìn thị phạm cắt nè.
Bị dính hàng người ta cắt có bị cái nào đâu.
Nhìn là 1,5 này, 1,5.
Đang cắt dở chỗ này anh lại thoát rồi. 1 dưới, 1 trên 1 dưới, giữa 1 đây, mid 1 đây.
Yeah, to your point, Darren, you see 2 teams that are equally yoked in power, equally yoked in consistency, and you just see a lot of prowess in the box from both of these teams. They just seem calm, they seem mature, they seem like they know what they're looking for. So it's going to be really exciting. I think that they're going to rely a lot on the long ball. There's going to be a lot of pop in today's game.
2 balls, no strikes to Burns. Burns with 15 long balls with that 486 clip, her 39th consecutive start. That one's going to miss, ball 3. Umpires for game 1 here behind the plate, Jim Bertuzzi, Vince Price at first base, Eddie Cooper working third. 3-0 here to Burns out of Menifee. Less than 100 miles away, and there's a towering fly ball, and that's going to be well over the scoreboard in left center. 2 solo home runs for Ohio State to get the series started.
And the home runs are all too familiar for Ohio State. They look like they're swinging so confidently, but they're swinging almost as if they're swinging in batting practice, so confident and just like they're comfortable swinging the long ball and just putting all their power. They have so much lower half power, and just this is who we expected to hit a home run right here in this situation.
3-0 count. Incredible. Went after it. 16th home run, 52nd RBI for the sophomore right from Menifee. Ball 1 here to Reagan Milliken. This is a 350 hitter with 13 long balls and a team best 55 driven in.
If you bought a ticket to today's game, you're going to see a lot of action. You're going to get what you came to see.
Yep. Again, both these teams, they have been playing fantastic ball, and Buckeyes just 1 setback in their last 13. Bruins with 1 setback in their last 17. 1-1 to Milliken, up and in, 2-1. Ohio State's been here a few days. A couple days ago, they won a 5-inning run rule game at Long Beach State, 8-0. Get their 30th victory in their first 38. Very good team, ranked 21st, and after a nice 6-2 start, right behind the Bruins in the Big Ten.
This inning has felt pretty fast-paced, pretty quick. There's a lot of excitement. As a catcher, I would like to see a time call just to be able to slow the game down. You've seen Caitlin Terry kind of get behind in the counts and have to bring it over the plate. Would have loved to see the freshman go out there and maybe talk to her a little bit. Caitlin Terry knows how to handle herself, but it's always nice to just have that little pause and a little break in the momentum.
Threw a fastball there to run the count full and throws another one, swing and a miss. And
UCLA, you're going to see their 2 table setters. Although they can hit some home runs, they really do just pride themselves on getting on base and being able to lengthen out at bats to be able to see enough pitches so that Jordan Woolery, Megan Grant, Riley Slim can come up with comfort knowing what the plan's going to be when they come up. So you're going to see Jessica Clements and Savannah Pola really lengthen out their at-bats and find a way to get on so that Jordan Woolery, Megan Grant can drive them in.
Clements, the former All-Everything Cal Poly Mustang, now in her senior season, hitting .389. She drives one in right center field. This is going to be up against the wall. Clements, it's going to be held to a long single. Well, typically, you're expecting a double at least on balls like that, but the way it was ricocheted, we'll see this here on replay, nothing much you can do if you're Clements.
These balls are getting hit hard at Easton Stadium right now. They are coming out with a vengeance, and this is the type of game you're in that makes me want to pick up my bat and get in the box too. It's like a bring it on type of game. Who's going to outscore who, and it's just going to be a fun game. This is amazing for the Bruins to be able to face this, and also the Buckeyes to be able to get this kind of repetition in conference. This feels like a World Series postseason game early in the season.
Yeah, well done. Also, good center fielder Skylar Lamone getting herself in position. When the ball was ricocheted off the wall. Savannah Pola up there. Again, 198 career hits. She's at 1 ball and 1 strike right now. 2 hits away from becoming the 37th Bruin all time to get to 200. 1-1 on the way. Popped up. This is going to be middle infield. That'll be the shortstop. Quartercracks brings it down for the first out. Well, there's the freshman in the circle for Ohio State. Lauren Boutte, 13-5, ERA of 3.5, making her 18th start. 24 walks, 88 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting .232 against her. She's been really good for them again. Got a couple of accolades after her collegiate debut weekend. Back on February 10th, Big Ten and Freshman Pitcher of the Week.
Yeah, she came out firing the first time she took the mound, and she was fearless and has really settled into the poise that she wants to bring every single time she's playing.
Fry's Skylar Lamone to follow, and the Buckeyes.
Anh nằm thẳng vào phía sau này, anh đeo tai nghe, anh nằm
First base misses, ball 1.
That was Caitlin Terry right here talking with Coach I, who's calling the pitches, and Sofia Mojica. I would like to incorporate a little bit more change-ups to start the count, just to see what they're thinking up there when the Buckeyes step into the box. I would like to just know what their plan is so I can either pitch around or bait them and tunnel pitches that look like what they're looking for. So I know that she did a lot of game planning after that first inning and is going to attack them a little differently in this inning.
Yeah, the 1-1 pitch, a little pop-up. Second base, Pola hauls it in for the first out. That was a La Costa Canyon High School product. Just popped up for the Buckeyes. Here is Fry. Fry's from Georgia, transfer from Berry College, now a grad student. Foul tip into the catcher's glove. 0-1 to Morgan Fry at the designated player spot.
And she's batting .418. And batting 7th in this lineup. That is crazy. That's insane. That you saw Riley Slimp batting pretty high, lower in the lineup. She's now moved up. But just to be able to have that type of depth in your team is so assuring for the batters at the top, and also knowing that it doesn't drop off at the end of your lineup.
Saw that little note there, 20 straight on base streak, but Caitlin Terry certainly wins that battle. She had 2 of those pitches down and in. Interesting spots, really nice locations.
Different spots for Caitlin Terry too. When you look at her on paper, you know you're going to get a rise ball, you know you're going to get a curve ball, and a lot of velocity. You never really saw that drop ball last year in her freshman year. She's now developed it, and it has such great break, and it's really a hard pitch for right-handed hitters to hit.
Here is Lamone, takes a strike. Lamone is from La Habra, Sonora High School. One and one. Caitlin Terry, last appearance was at Maryland, late March, and did not allow a run, 3 hits and 5 innings of work, and got the victory, her 13th. 1-1, that's hit in the air deep to left, could be trouble. It is. This one's gonna bounce right up against the wall, and a stand-up double for Lamone.
That had a ton of pop off of her bat. the instant that she hit it, and it seemed like Riley Slimp was in a little bit just because of the shift, but it literally hit that corner of Easton Stadium and just dropped in, had a ton of pop, and she was thinking two right away.
Just takes it the other way, inside out. Beautiful hit right up against the foul line.
Couldn't have placed it any better.
Yep. Long way to go for Slip for the 5th double of the year for Lamone. And here's the last of the order, Taylor Cruz, a sophomore hitting .318, 10 long balls, 34 driven in.
And Ohio State has had 175 extra base hits this season, including now making this the 77th double that they've had.
Cruz, sophomore right-handed hitter. She's from Kansas. Got another runner in scoring position. 1-1, 2 outs. High heat there. And Terry's ahead.
You've seen Terry kind of lock in and start pitching a little harder. You can see she's like grunting more. She's locked in. I think she really just wants to show the Buckeyes what she's made of. Maybe she wasn't delivering her best pitches on the ones that were getting hit, but now she's just really locked in.
Check swing, elevated pitch, no swing. Peeled down to third for Eddie Cooper. Yeah, Terry, 6th and 7th home runs of the year allowed. She had allowed 5 coming into today, gave up 2 alone in the first. Trying to settle in, 2-2 pitch. In the dirt there, we go the distance to the number 9 hitter, Taylor Cruz.
Good stop by Sofia Mujica behind the plate. You do not want that runner to get to third base. You don't want to give the Buckeyes anything that they don't deserve or don't earn. So being able to keep her at second base is big.
Swing and a miss there. Another ball that dropped, came inside, and a couple of strikeouts on that same pitch. So Caitlin Terry puts a 0 on the board. Take another look at a strikeout. Helped turn Georgia Tech's program around. She went to a few NCAA tournaments.
Ton of experience coming from her, and she knows what her team brings here. It's always nice to identify the strengths of your team and just play to that. I know she probably dives deep into the hitters and their mentality and make sure there's a huge focus on that because she knows that that's one of their biggest strengths.
First season for her in Columbus, again, formerly of Miami of Ohio, last few years where she was twice named the MAC Coach of the Year. Count runs here to 2 balls and 1 strike to the extremely hot Megan Grant. She might be UCLA's best player so far inside Big Ten play. 12 for her last 26. 2-1, that is fouled away. That goes back 10 games, that stretch, so playing very well.
Yeah, it seems like as soon as she got into conference, she found her groove. She was feeling her stuff out, doing really well in preseason, but just not one of the top runners. But now is just really feeling herself, locked into her mechanics and her mindset.
Now there's a towering fly ball, though a couple of steps backwards and kind of finding the softball nicely for the second time really in this game is Lamone out there in center field. She had that, remember that long single by Clements that she had to stay patient with out there. So.
And this is such an electric game right now. You hear the Ohio State fans cheering, you hear the Bruin fans cheering, you hear a ton of noise, and this is just one of the games. We talked about it in the break, Darren, that you just want to pick up the bat and get in the box, put on your uniform. This is just the games that you live for as a player because these are the ones that are the most action-filled.
Well, there's Riley Slimp. First thing she sees, sends a chopper right up the middle. Good for a base hit. Riley Slimp having a really nice freshman season, 410 on the year. That right there, her 42nd hit of the year. And just, let's see, yeah, just chops one right over the middle right here.
I like the mindset that Riley Slimp came in with this at-bat, though. Everyone's expecting to see home runs from these two teams, but Riley Slimp said, let me start it off with a base hit. Let's get someone on base. Let's take a deep breath, and then we'll let every other person get what they need.
Yeah, right there, Kanaya Bragg is hit. And, well, this is, we've talked about this before. No stranger to getting hit by a pitch.
And she just broke the program record for getting hit, now number 18. For her, we coined her the ball magnet earlier in the season, and now I feel bad for saying that because it's so true. She's been hit so many times this season, and just poor thing. She's been beat up, but she has a lot of memories and the bruises that she gets. A lot of souvenirs, I guess you could say.
You know, been hit 18 times, single season program record now, and look how much softball there is to be played.
Let's hope she doesn't get hit anymore. She broke the record.
Yeah.
She's done.
And a little visit to the circle, as now they're trying to settle down Lauren Boutte. 2 on and 1 out for the Bruins. Down a couple of runs. Here is Sofia Mujica. Now here I was coming into the series thinking, well, a new program record could be set if UCLA can run rule their opponent for the 22nd time. That's never happened in the history of this program. 21's the record, done twice before. First pitch to Mujica is fouled away, but we're not really thinking of
a hit by pitch
batter record, but yeah.
And it's laughable because we're not the ones getting hit, but I'm sure Kanaya's at this point like, what's going on? She doesn't even really crowd the plate either. She's pretty well off the plate, and it just seems like the ball always finds her.
There's a sharp ground ball that gets through in the left field. They're going to load them up, UCLA will. Tough chance there for Kortokrax at shortstop. That's going to be a hit. Very hard hit ball, so that is certainly the right scoring decision. Each side now with 3 hits. Yes, she is a little bit behind the ball in terms of getting her glove down, but still, you got to award the batter with a hard hit ball, right?
It was a very hard hit ball, but I believe that she could have got a backhand to that ball. That was well enough in her range, and if she would have just flipped her glove over to a backhand, I think she could have secured that and just limited the amount of base runners that the Bruins have in this situation right here.
Opportunity here in the bottom of the second. Alexis Ramirez looks at a 1-0, makes it 2-0. This is a player here who in her sophomore season getting her 9th start, just 2 for her first 16 with a couple of ribbies. She was walked 5 times. Has them loaded and takes one high. So in her second go around, Boutte perhaps up against it. So number 8 hitting DP, who has seen minimal time, 3-0 pitch, and on 4 pitches, wow. Alexis Ramirez, a base on balls that brings in the first Bruin run. Slimp will score, Bragg to third, Mujica to second, and Ramirez now on first. And we'll see some activity meanwhile on first. Inoue Perez is out to make the change, and pinch runner at first. Yeah, it is Osteen, okay. Yeah, in the flex spot originally. It's all for a moment if it was 55 or 56, but it's Lisa Osteen pinch running at first, and Caitlin Terry now is the hitter.
Let's see if Caitlin Terry can make back what she gave up on the mound. This is such a unique position for a pitcher to be able to lock into a game like this. Really big moment, and I'm sure Caitlin Terry, out of everyone in that dugout, is excited to be up at the plate right now.
Looks at a pitch outside. 5 straight balls thrown here by the freshman, Boutte. Terry's driven in 10. Hitting .250 with 14 hits on the season. There's a strike. One pitch, thought about it, appeal, no swing. 2-1. Go a couple of hours earlier tomorrow in Game 2, which will close the series. Every Big Ten team playing a 2-game set at one point or another. There's a deep fly ball into left center, and that thing is really caring for a grand slam by Caitlin Terry. Didn't think it would be a home run off the bat at all.
I thought it was carrying, and she hit it hard, and that's her first career home run for Caitlin Terry, and it comes in one of the biggest moments that she's had at the plate. She had a first inning where she gave up 2 home runs, was not able to get what she wanted out of that first inning, but comes back and says, Bruins, I got you. I see what you're saying. It did have really high launch angle, but she just has so much power and so much pop. She knew what she was looking for and got it out of that swing.
A lot of height, but the way that thing just kept carrying, I thought mid-outfield, maybe eventually it would get to the track. Certainly deep enough for a sacrifice fly. But a grand slam by the starting pitcher. Of course, helping her own cause now in the circle aspect of things. And just like that, a 5-run second inning.
Is going to remember this one even much more, and it's going to be a core memory just because of the background that happened. She gave up 2 home runs. They had an early lead against her and was able to come up with a grand slam.
So here is Clements, 0-1, had that long single in the first. And it was eventually erased, as were the Bruins, on a double play ball, trying to leg one out on the ground. Bunt goes foul. Kennedy Kay is homegrown. She is a senior from Creston, Ohio. 6'1", right-hander. And she is one of 5 pitchers who the Buckeyes have used at one point or another. Second most amount of starts behind Boutte for the Buckeyes this year. The 0-2 on the way. That's driven on the ground the other way. And this will be a 6-3 put out for the second out. Quarter cracks to Milliken.
You see Jess Clements giving Savvy Pola what she saw. I'm guessing the sequence that she saw and probably what spin she saw in the ball. Sometimes you talk about velocity when you're able to get a quick word in with the batter that comes up next, but always nice to see some batters being able to give relay information and build up some confidence for the next batter up in the box.
442 hitter starting the day. She is 0 for 1 on a pop-up to short. 6 homers, 36 driven in, and again 2 hits from joining the 200 career hit club here in Westwood. Something achieved by 36 other players in the history of the program. 2-0. Kay winds up, and a sharp ground ball foul. Going after it at 2-0. Now the next hitter here in UCLA's history, which Polo will catch, will be Rachel Garcia. She had 214 career hits. As she continues to climb the charts all time. 3-1. And K's 3-1 to Pola. Took a little bit off that. Pola was ahead, fouls one back.
Interesting to see her throw a changeup inside. You normally see a changeup on the outer half to a batter, but really great placement by Kay to be able to change up her vision and tunnel the pitch that she had thrown previously to Pola.
3-2, 2 outs. Thanks to Caitlin Terry, the bases are now empty. Payoff. That's hit in the air, slicing foul. Long run for Parisian. Ohio State last weekend getting 2 out of 3 at home against Indiana. Swept Michigan State on the road and beat Nebraska at home 2 out of 3. And there's their Big Ten schedule so far. And again this week they won an 8-0 game at Long Beach. Pola hanging tough with these foul balls. Bruins, of course, getting the 2-run rule victories on Tuesday here against CSUN and UC San Diego. Winning all 3 at Maryland. Fly ball center field, a slow start, and this time it costs Lamone. She keeps on going. Pola slides in a third. Nobody's covering the bag. Even didn't have to slide, but she does. And the first 2 balls that were hit out to her, Lamone played very well. This one she didn't.
Seemed like she didn't have a really great angle to see where the ball was going, but like you said, very slow start. Did not attack it with, didn't seem like the same attack that she should have had at the beginning of her route, but Savvy takes third base on that and is able to get them just 60 feet away from another run.
All right, so Jordan Woolery stands in. Looks at one, up and away, ball 1. Now the Bruins are 5 for their first 9 up there, having a big inning, obviously. 5 runs, 4 hits in the inning, and of course the grand slam first home run for the starting pitcher, Caitlin Terry. Two 2-0 to Woolery. 0 for 1 on the double play ball. That one's going to run inside. By the way, of course, give Pola the straight triple. So hit number 199 for her and her 4th triple of the year. 3-0 pitch, and on 4 pitches, Woolery draws a walk. Keep the inning going. So the Bruins bat around in the 2nd. Go back to the top. Oh, excuse me, Megan Grant was up there. Sorry about that. Megan Grant. Cleanup hitter. Riley Slimp is on deck as the Bruins put him on the corners looking for more here in the bottom of the 2nd. Grant 0 for 1 and a fly ball to Lamone. Still 12 for her last 27. And ahead here, 2-0. Pola and Woolery on the corners in a big Bruins 2nd inning. 2-0. 3-0.
There needs to be a timeout called in this situation. You've seen your pitcher walk on 4 straight balls, and Jordan Woolery, and now 3 straight balls to Megan Grant. There just has to be a little reset for this pitcher to be able to get back into this game and not let this inning continue.
Certainly one to take there. Megan takes it for a strike, 3-1. You saw that graphic, 1 of 4 in the Big Ten with 50-plus runs batted in. Just having a great Big Ten season. Of course, the non-conference season for her was really good too. 3-1. That we know is out of the park. Fair or foul? It's fair. It's a home run for Megan Grant, and UCLA builds on its lead. 16th of the year.
And it was a towering one. That one landed in the top layer of the trees, and she's able to tack on her 16th home run, now tying Jordan Woolery. And the Bruins just keep this inning going, and now they're about to round it up to batting throughout the entire lineup. Now back up to Riley Slimp.
Yeah, that one was elevated right in the wheelhouse of Megan Grant. RBIs 51, 52, and 53. I've said this a long time, Charlize. One of the amazing things about this program is their ability to keep innings going with 2 out. The run production over the years with 2 outs has been unbelievable.
Hitting is contagious. So we've heard that so many times. I think it's the mindset shift. It's the mindset that, hey, my teammate just got a hit, now I want to pick up the bat, and it's that confidence stepping up to the plate. There's no mechanical shift. There's no physical shift that goes on. It's all mental, and it's all between your ears, that mental shift that happens, and it does get contagious. Everyone wants a piece of it, and everyone wants to see that pitch coming in.
It is an 8-run inning on 5 hits. Here is Riley Slim, who had that chopper up the middle for a hit, her first at bat. 1-1 on the way. That is a check swing. This might get through, and didn't necessarily get through, but go ahead and give an infield single to Slim. She's 2 for 2. Kind of got away there for a moment from Farley.
Although probably not the hit she wanted, it worked. I mean, in the scorebook, it's a base hit, and she again gets on for the Bruins and starts a rally off. And it seems like the momentum has not only gone over to the Bruins, but it's increased, and it's getting even louder in the Bruins side, and they're feeling super confident there. They came out and they're swinging at their pitches, and now it seems like the side for Ohio State is now a little deflated. But both of these programs have what it takes to be able to come back and score some more runs. So this game is not over. I know it's early, but there's still a lot of softball to be played between such two talented squads.
All right, so here is Kanaya Bragg, freshman, hitting .344, 5 homers, 30 driven in. Got a runner on first. Slices 1 foul. Again, just the second inning of game 1 of a quick 2-game set, Bruins and Buckeyes. Just when Caitlin Terry and UCLA got into some early trouble, giving up 2 solo home runs. How quick UCLA was to turn things around and then some. Kennedy K, the second Buckeye in the circle, the 1-1 pitch. That is taken for a strike. 1-2 to Bragg. The 2 players we highlighted at the top have gone yard early in this one for their 16th home run apiece.
Almost like we predicted it, right?
Kay winds up, and the 1-2 on the way. That is a little looper, and that is going to be over the head of Quartercracks. And Bragg will take second.
And the Bruins are jumping on any opportunity they can get. Kanaya does a great job of keeping her bat in the path to be able to just get that ball over the shortstop. And you see Riley Slim taking third base, and then a throw that seems a little late that could have gone to second base to stop Kanaya from going there. Goes all the way to third, and now we have Bruins at second and third with 2 down. Yeah, this 2-out rally's really booming for the Bruins right now.
Yeah, certainly a questionable choice there out in center. Lamone going to third, getting Bragg over to second. Still 2 away for Mujica. Singled a long time ago, earlier this inning.
And I know Sophia Mujica is salivating at this moment right here. I know she wants a piece of the long ball, but I would love to see her just continue to work on her process and get, maybe in a next step back, get some outcome on that.
Well, the Bruins will strand 2. However, I believe the damage has been done. 8 runs on 7 hits. UCLA in game 1 against Ohio State, leading 15 hitter was 0 for 1. Down now 0-1. Terry misses low and in, 1-1. Parisian, Buick, and Quartercracks, the top 3 for the Buckeyes. A lot of power in her own right. 13 long balls. Ohio State now has hit 93 of them this year. Terry ahead again, 1 and 2.
And although we are at the top of the lineup for Ohio State, you don't want to discredit the lineup that you know that everyone can get it done throughout their lineup. They are stacked and they have just really good offense for them.
Yeah, that's a high fly ball deep in the left. Not much room out there. Can't go further back, Slim. And she has it just a step or two in front of that wall. So here is Sammy Buick.
I would like to see now, as the second batter coming up to this third inning, I would like to see some base hits strung along and getting some runners on, maybe even a walk, and you're able to just put a lot more pressure rather than just taking a single shot as a home run with this big of a 6-run lead. Just getting some runners on and giving some pressure to the Bruins right now and getting a little bit of that momentum back. It doesn't have to come just from the long ball. It can come from base hits, some doubles, and even some walks.
8th home run of the year in the first inning for Buick. Takes a strike, 1-1.
Saw a beautiful changeup there from Caitlin Terry. Dropped it in right at the perfect time.
One and 2 ahead. That same count of 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sophomore out of Pennsylvania. She came over with her head coach from Miami. 1-2. This Buckeye roster, just a couple of seniors and 1 grad student. So they're going to be really good many years to come. Sharp ground ball, and that's going to take a bad hop on Bragg. Base hit for Buick, her second hit.
Yeah, that was hit so sharply and did take a pretty hard bounce off of Kanaya. So, granted, it is the exit velo on that hit was high for sure. One thing about this Buckeye lineup, they're going to swing it hard. So even if it's a ground ball, it's going to come out with a lot of zip off that bat.
Here's Quartercrack's first pitch is away, ball 1. Ground ball and a comebacker to Terry. And the ball sliced the other way out to right. And that'll be hauled in by Liesl Osteen for the second out. So here is Burns, who also had that solo home run. Long foul ball. Well, one thing is for sure. People are swinging away in this game. I mean, they're going to swing away again tomorrow early and often. So that's what this series is all about. You got 2 of the best hitting teams in the country.
They have the green means go sign, and they are all on go. Foot on the gas. They're ready to step in that box.
And swinging away there, and that's going to be another long ball for Jasmine Burns. Off the scoreboard, a 2-run shot, 8-4, her second home run tonight in her first 2 appearances. Give her 17 on the year.
2 home runs in 1 game, and now they're just 4 runs away. You see a beautiful swing from Jasmine Burns. Just very clean. If you want to see a clean, healthy swing, you need to study up on Jasmine Burns because her swing just elevates the ball so beautifully. She gets inside the pitch, and she's telling Ohio State, come on, guys, let's go. Let's fire up.
I almost hit her name on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Just playing target practice, huh?
Yeah. All right, Buckeyes put up another 2 spot. Now playing from behind. Here's Milliken. 0 for 1, a ball thrown. This is the spot where Terry started to really settle in. Got Reagan on a strikeout and got a couple of more strikeouts on low and in pitches. Ohio State looking for a second win here, and so far getting their deficit to 8-4, 2-0.
And Ohio State doesn't strike out much. They only have 185 strikeouts starting in today's game, and their strikeout to walk ratio is 2-1. So they're not a team that strikes out in comparison to UCLA, who has 299 strikeouts before the start of this game and has a strikeout to walk ratio of 5-1. So not.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, just not a lot of differentials there, but you do see that Caitlin Terry has been able to get some strikeouts against these Buckeyes.
4-pitch walk there. Ohio State trying to cook up a 2-out rally. Here is the .336 hitting Farley. Foul tip into the catcher's glove, 0-1. 0 for 1 and a pop-up to Pola. One and 1. And 1-1 pitch. Going back with the fastball. Infamous count for Caitlin Terry of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fast worker she is, right back at it. Towering fly ball again, and this one just keeps on going off the top of the wall. This will be 8-5 at the very least. Let's see if they try to wave in another. The throw to the plate, and Ohio State will have to settle for 1. Great throw in, and he just kept waving her around, Farley. Milliken scored for Alexis Ramirez. And a strike thrown by Kennedy Kay into her 2nd inning. Castro up there, 222. She's driven in 4. There's a bouncing ball on 2 hops. Scooped up, quarter cracks over to first. All right, well, here she is, Caitlin Terry. A grand slam, first ever home run on this level for her, and helping her own cause, of course, in the circle. .263 now at the plate. 14 driven in, and now 1 home run. Meanwhile, Kay's 34th pitch in relief is high, 1-1. Fly ball, kind of shallow out there and right for the routine play, 2nd out. As for the starter for Ohio State, Boutte, 1 1/3, gives up 5 runs, all earned on 4 hits. Walked 1, didn't strike anybody out. 25 pitches in a starting role, 12 of them going for strikes. And if the Buckeyes do not even it up, she is on the hook for her 6th loss of the year. Ball 1 to Jessica Clements, now at the top. Oh, hard ball, hard ground ball down to short, and that is going to be booted out to center field. Quarter cracks has had an interesting first couple of innings of this one at short. Some hard hit balls going that way. Just on 1 short hop there. No scoring ruling yet. But again, these balls are just coming at lightning speed, and often those are ruled hits. Here is Savannah Pola. Oh, they're going to go air on this one. Okay. I mean, it was right in her line of track. She had it. The only thing in question was the speed of the ball. That's driven, and a dive, and not able to make the play. Lamone. Bruins will have them on the corners with 2 outs. That was Savannah Pola, and that was also Savannah Pola's 200th career hit. That'll be a hit, won't it? Here is Woolery.
Just a great swing. She strikes it really well, and center field was able to track it down well, but just coming down on the ball with so much force, she wasn't able to trap it. And yeah, I think that's going to go down as Savannah Pola's 200th hit.
Yeah.
Amazing feat to do in such a great program, and also at the Division I level. That's higher level hitting right there.
And Lamone will tell you that she should have had it. Probably disappointed she didn't come up with it. It was, again, in her glove, but still a lot of ground to cover. It was kind of hit shallow, a lot of grass to cover for her. So
it was still in the air when she caught it, too. So when she landed, just all that force of running in, she tracked it so well. So we have to give her credit for tracking it down. And I agree. I think if we asked her after the game, could you have had that ball, she would have said, yeah, 10 out of 10, I should have.
So Pola, second hit. Club 200 for Savannah Pola, 37th Bruin all-time to do that. Jordan Woolery looks at ball 1, and again, UCLA still at it with 2 outs. UCLA has them on the corners. 1-0 pitch is up and away, ball 2. For 1 with a walk, grounded in that 6-4-3 double play in the first, walked in the second as the Bruin inning continued into an 8-run inning. Here's ball 3. On deck is Megan Grant. Outfield straight up for Woolery, and the 3-0 looks at a strike.
And those 3 pitches didn't seem like they were going at all towards the plate. It seemed like she was trying to pitch around her, so we see a strike getting in there now. Jordan taking a deep breath, resetting and getting ready to see a strike.
Clements and Pola, the base runners, the 3-1 to Woolery, and nice patient hitting there. 5-6 hole, sending one in the left field. Jordan Woolery, an RBI, brings in Jessica Clements, and UCLA tacks on another 9-5 in the third. Boy, 9-5 in the third. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah. Not expecting this much run scoring going on, but from these two ball teams, you're expecting it. These squads have proven they can hit the ball. They can find a way to score runs. So many of their batters are just locked in right now, and it's a dogfight right now at Easton Stadium.
Well, Woolery drives in her 58th to lead UCLA. And the Buckeyes are going to go to the bullpen. Be their third hurler in there. All right, so Ohio State's third pitcher will tell you all about her on the other side. 9-5 Bruins. Megan Grant coming up.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got
Well, that's Lena Gerhardt on your screen. She's a freshman from Delaware and the third Ohio State pitcher already. We're just in the bottom of the third. Gerhardt's number 17 and 7. 17 games, that is, 7 starts, her 11th appearance out of the bullpen. So she does have a 5-0 record, ERA of 3.04. Second freshman of the night for Ohio State to take the circle. Jordan Woolery, who drove in her team high 58th of the year, to put the Bruins there to start the fourth. Fry struck out in the second. One of the 3 strikeouts so far for Terry. Fry, Limon, and Cruz in the Buckeye fourth, the bottom 3. Heat there, swing and a miss, chasing one upstairs, 2-1. Always so tough to lay off, even at 2-0. Big Ten Player of the Week here. Fouls one back, 2-2. Grad student came in right behind Jasmine Burns in team hitting to lead Ohio State. Full count.
Having a very patient at-bat, has seen a ton of pitches from Caitlin Terry. I'm sure she's going to be going on anything close. I'd like to see Caitlin Terry throw a changeup here.
And the 3-2, swing and a miss.
Or a
big
drop
time
ball.
pitch. Oh, she's had 3 strikeouts just like that. She's got 4 on the evening.
She's gotten so comfortable with that drop ball, which I'm so proud of her for being able to find a way to get her body to throw a different pitch. She's so used to throwing balls that move up and the curveball, and she's able to show herself with the help of Rob Schweier and Coach Kelly Inouye Perez to turn the ball over and get a drop ball on something that's moving down, because it does catch batters off balance and by surprise, because they're expecting to see something elevated off of her.
Skylar Limon is 1 for 1 with a double. 0-1 to her. 60 pitches now into her night as Terry misses that one. Ahead 1-2. Some of the hometown crowd wanted that one, didn't get it. 2-2. Approaching the 80-minute mark in this one. We're in the top of the fourth. 9-5 Bruins as the lights are now in full effect at Easton. Go the distance again. Miss. A little more heat there as well. 5 strikeouts, Caitlin Terry.
settling in real nice. She's able to just get that ball up. It has so much spin, so much velocity, just blew it past her.
Two outs, base is empty for Cruz. Another strike thrown, nothing in one. So looking for at least a similar inning here to that of the second. Tag for 2 in the first, 3 in the third. Looking to keep the score 9-5. Really mixing up her pitches now. I mean, extremely well.
Yeah, she's already seen every batter a few times, so she's changing up the combinations. Got to pay some respect to Coach Kelly Inouye-Perez, who's calling pitches, so doing a really good job of just changing it up.
And Kanaya Bragg hauls that one in. A very quick top of the fourth, halfway.
Although she's getting hit, she got a hit this game, and I'm sure she'd rather get hits in that manner, get on base. But Kanaya Bragg has done a really great job as a freshman to be able to come in, settle in, playing third base at the beginning of the year, and then to the fall of Alina Garcia has now been able to move over to shortstop. But she's been playing with such maturity, and it comes from her experience in travel ball and also in her high school days playing at Pacifica High School and winning a few championships there as well.
Up to a 351 average, up and away there. So ahead of the count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Take a look at Gerhard, the third Buckeye of the night. 10 pitches into her night. Trying to keep this game manageable. There's a high fly ball, deep to center. It's over the wall. Kanaya Bragg, home run number 6. Second hit of the night for her. Bruins have put 10 on the board.
And she put a bruise on that ball. The balls have been bruising her, but now she decided to send that ball out of the park. That hit the tree behind the batting cage. Like, she dotted it right in center field. Just got her hands right to an elevated pitch and watched it fly.
As expected, getting our share of not only hits and runs scored, but long balls. Got a handful tonight of home run balls combined by each of these two teams, who again rank in the top 10 in the country, and not only runs scored, but home runs. And slugging percentage, for that matter. And it's 10-5. Mojica's up there. 1 for 2, now at 304 for Mojica. 2-0. Numbers on Kay, she lasted the same amount of time as Boutte did. An inning and a third. While Boutte gave up 5 in a starting role, Kay gave up 4. 3 of them earned on 6 hits. Reaches out there and misses 2 and 1. And Kay throws 43 pitches, 26 for strikes. She'll have nothing to do with it. Gerhard so far 2/3 of an inning in relief. That was the first run allowed. Home run ball to Kanaya Bragg. Off speed and a strike. Nice location, 2 and 2.
And if they bring out their last pitcher, Gaywicki, to this game, then the Bruins will have seen all 4 of their pitchers, and they're going to go into game 2 having the Bruins knowing that they've seen every single one of their pitchers and their staff.
Mojica strikes out. The first strikeout of the night for Ohio State pitching. Yeah, they have a 5th pitcher, Lexi Paulson, although she's only made 1 appearance. So they have 4 regulars, as you mentioned. And yeah, and you know, how does that affect possibly game 2, right? I mean, you've had a chance, you know, if it happened, to maybe see all 4 pitchers. So
In your mindset as a hitter, when you leave the ballpark, if the score stands and the Bruins win, you leave a ballpark knowing that you put up a great fight, but you've seen all their pitchers, so they can't throw anything else at you. Whereas the Bruins, at this very moment, have only shown Caitlin Terry, so they have 2 arms that the Buckeyes haven't seen. So they're wondering as they're leaving the field, who's going to throw tomorrow and who are we going to have to adjust for and what are we going to have to look for. So it's a little bit of that unknown, whereas them knowing that they've been able to strike on every pitcher that they've faced against Ohio State. So just a different mindset when you leave the ballpark and preparing you for game 2. I would say you could rest a little easier knowing that you've already faced all the pitchers you're going to face the next day.
Yeah. Lisa Losteen. 2-0 the count. That's right over, just above the knees. 2-1. Started the night in the flex spot, but a chance to hit here. A couple of RBIs on the year for Osteen, up and in there. Officially on the season, 2 for 6 is Lisa Osteen with 2 driven in. Starting right fielder. Trying to drag a bunt down, a running start, and draws a walk out of it. So the inning continues on a walk to Lisa Losteen.
Here comes the big grand slammer, Caitlin Terry. Although it was early in the game, you could feel the intensity of the game in that moment when Caitlin Terry stepped up to the plate when there was bases juiced. It was just, Ohio State's fans were loud, so were the Bruins fans. It was tense, everyone wanted to see what was happening, and she just made her mark in that moment.
Well, after the first walk of the year issued to Lisa Osteen, Terry the hitter, and looks at ball 1, and now the Buckeyes will have a little meeting.
One of the first meetings called by a catcher for this contest, and you see how many runs have been scored, you see how many walks have been dealt. I wish this would have came earlier in the game. I wish there would have been a little attention to detail in that manner, that you just calm the game down. That when the pace of the game feels a little too fast and you're going through everything at Mach speed, you almost want to take a step back to be able to relax and kind of give some breathing room for your team and the other team so that they don't feel like they're just hopping on you.
Gerhard misses away, 2-0. Bruins will be at the top next if Terry can get aboard. Strike 2-1. 10-11-0 the Bruin line, 5-6-1 for the Buckeyes. UCLA with 8 runs in the second. 1 in the third, and now 1 more, at least in the fourth. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Bruins maybe a little shell-shocked right out of the gate to start the series, giving up the 2 solo shots, but again, wasted very little time coming back.
And this is their 9th game with 3 or more homers this year for the Bruins. So they've been able to string along home runs, string along base hits, and get people in. They do a very good job, like we've said, and we've seen in this game, to get people on for those big moments. It's not just solo home runs that we're seeing. We're seeing home runs with 2 or more RBIs brought in.
Payoff, strike 3. And I think number 55 out there knew it. So Gerhardt, base hit, but regardless, kudos, because this program, Charlize, has been now somewhere they've never been. That's the Final Four. We're talking women's basketball.
Yeah, and the game's not over yet. We still have another half, and it looks like it's time for a little Bruin magic to happen. I would like to see them come back and do the magic that they've been doing all year. And there's 2 great teams that, like you said, UCLA has now made history going to the Final Four for the first time.
Well, here's Sammy Buick after a nice rip up the middle by Parisian. Buick is 2 for 2, homered in her first appearance. That's a strike. Home run and a single tonight for Buick.
Coming back, we just brushed over it, but what a great start for the Buckeyes to get a runner on with a base hit, just getting that momentum back and continuing to claw at this game and at Caitlin Terry. They're not giving up, and they're showing that they've got fight in them.
And the 1-2 from Terry. I think she held up. She did. 2-2. Full count. One on, nobody out in the fifth. Bruins by 5, and now the Buckeyes will have 2 on and nobody out. Just the second walk of the night issued by Caitlin Terry. Quarter cracks will be the hitter. Peel, no swing.
It's important that Ohio State put some runners on because you see the differentials of what's happening. Ohio State has had 3 home runs this game. The Bruins have had a pair of home runs as well, but the difference is that they've had runners on when they've had, so that's what's creating the differential in the runs right now. A 10-5 lead against the Buckeyes, and right now you're seeing them slow down their at-bats. They're an aggressive team, but they've been able to watch some balls come in, taking some great pitches by Caitlin Terry, but they're just not finding the plate. And now they're able to kind of etch something in that can potentially be a threat for the Bruins.
Yeah, still a ways to go in this one as the Buckeyes are hitting in the fifth. We got 9 outs to play around with. 10-5 is the score. Quarter cracks up there 2-1. Another powerful hitter for Ohio State, and she's ahead 3-1. 0 for 2 on a ground ball and a fly ball. And who's coming up next? Jasmine Burns, 3-1. And Jasmine Burns will be up there with the bases loaded and nobody out. Just their second and third walks of the game. And Burns, who already has 2 home runs, take another look at those right here. This was the early one, put him up 2-0 in the first, and then the one in the third. Almost hit her name in the top left of the scoreboard.
And here's a player that could breathe some life back into Ohio State's dugout. And she's 2 for 2 with 2 home runs. Some pretty good numbers on the day, but I'm sure that she really wants to make something interesting happen right now in this very at-bat.
Nobody out. Monster chance for Ohio State to get back in it. Find themselves down 5, but for how long? And that is going to sail over the head of Mojica, but fortunately for the Bruins, comes right back to them.
And smart for Ohio State not to run into any outs there just because you have your hottest hitter. And you don't want to cut off any momentum that could possibly come from this.
1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1.
Burns seeing the ball really well right now, probably seeing it huge. Takes a huge hack at that pitch. Like to see her take a deep breath. She's been here before in this moment. She's used to this pressure.
That one just off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike to Burns. Milliken on deck. There you see a .429 hitter this year with the bases loaded as her second multiple home run game of the year. 2-1 pitch is a fly ball deep to right center. It is carrying, but right at the wall it dies. It is hauled in. It's going to be good for a sacrifice fly. And that was a matter of inches from a third home run by Burns. But it does drive in 1, 10-6.
Bet she wanted the wind to start blowing out at that very moment. She got a good swing on it, just a little underneath it, and was not able to get it out of the park like I'm sure she wanted, but definitely looked like it was carrying a little bit, and they were able to find it.
I think the balls are carrying big time tonight. Again, a couple of home runs had me fooled, and didn't think that would make it all the way near the wall, but it did. Milliken up there, runners on the corners, 1 out, and a strike thrown.
And you see Caitlin Terry starting with a changeup. I'm sure to see that, trying to see what the plan is here against Reagan, and just trying to see what they're thinking, what they're hunting. Gives you a good little baseline because no one's going to be coming out just wanting to swing at a changeup first pitch, especially since Caitlin Terry doesn't throw them very often.
Strike thrown. And remember, Burns was 3 for 3 with 3 runs batted in on Tuesday in their win at Long Beach State. So she's 5 for 6 on the road this week with 6 runs batted in now.
Yeah, since she's come back to her home state, California, she's feeling it.
Yep, 0-2, got her looking. A big strikeout for Caitlin Terry. That'll be her 6th K of the night.
To a team that doesn't strike out much, Caitlin Terry has been doing a great job of getting them guessing, giving them pitches that are painted on the corner, like just like that one, and holding her own against a team that's has some strength offensively.
Here's Farley swinging a miss. Farley is 1 for 2. She flew out in the second, and remember what happened in the third. Had the RBI triple, but she tried to score. His coach tried to wave her in from third and was fairly easily thrown out at the plate. They reviewed it on a possible obstruction, but to no avail. One. Inside there, 2-1. By the way, that was Farley's first triple of the year, last at bat. 2-2. And if Terry can put another strike on the board right here, I think you'll take this half inning if you're a UCLA fan. Remember, Ohio State had them loaded with nobody out.
Yeah, it was a really big opportunity for them, and Jasmine Burns came up, and although she fell short of the wall, she was able to tack on some runs, and now looking to her teammates behind her to be able to clean up the rest of the stuff that she left on base for them.
Terry into her windup. Go the distance again. Buick on third, Quartercracks on first. Farley the hitter. Payoff pitch. Got her looking.
Always been a contact hitter, but you saw her really tap into her power on that one. She smoked a ball in her last at bat to the shortstop, and now comes up and just caps off on top of the left fielder there and does a really good job of legging out a double.
You know, a tremendous pickup for this UCLA team in the offseason. Really good player at Cal Poly, under the radar, maybe not a whole lot of attention that she, I thought she deserved while she was there. But really good pickup for this team.
She also does a really great job of leading the team in the dugout as well.
Here is Pola. By the way, since that 8-run second inning, a fair amount has happened since then. Ohio State has put 4 on the board. Bruins a couple of runs. The bunt is down. Everybody going to be safe, and Pola is going to be going to second. Nobody's covering the bag. No throw. Pola just keeps on going, and that is Bruins softball, really.
They just caught Ohio State sleeping. They're expecting the Bruins to be able to swing it, and Pola just looks left and starts going. She sees an open bag and makes it there, hyping up her team. Now they're just really trying to play with the Ohio State Buckeyes, just showing them that they have more facets than just the long ball, just the power. And Savannah Pola has done this all season long. She's gone some hard hits. She's been able to connect, but also lay down a bunt and show her speed. She's just completely locked in and leading the Bruins by example and with a charge.
Well, career hit number 201 for Savannah Pola. She's got 3 hits tonight, and the Bruins have second and third. Nobody out. Now, several discussions on the field right now. There's one of them amongst the crew. Buckeyes have a couple of meetings going on themselves, but anything of note maybe that you saw there? I don't think so. Or they just, well, let's see what's going on. The coach, Kirian coming out as well. Not really happy with something.
I think they're checking to see if she's out of the box from that bunt. So if any part of her foot maybe came out. Hard to tell because the lines are pretty askewed because of all the commotion that's been happening in this game, but I'm just gonna check back. This could be big out for Ohio State if they do see her out of the box. I think it'll be ruled just as a strike if her foot is out of the box.
Yeah, the front part of her left foot there it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah. Well, she didn't step out of the box, I don't think, but let's see if, did the ball hit the front part of her foot? I believe she's still in the box.
Hard to tell, there's no lines. There's no lines left, so we'll see. They normally call that call with a lot of slappers up at the plate. We'll see what the call is right now.
Everybody's safe. Buckeyes 0 for 2 on challenges. Let's take another look. I mean, clearly, lines are not, right? I mean, it just took a couple of steps. I was thinking maybe the ball
had hit her when she was
her foot
running.
So that was close.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan Woolery. First base open, nobody out. Got an RBI single. That happened in the third inning. Gerhard misses up. Again, Gerhard, the third pitcher. First two pitchers for the Buckeyes lasted an inning and a third apiece. Two and 0. Megan Grant on deck. Again, no outs. The freshman from Delaware, right-hander. 2-0 on the way. This is another one badly. Well, if you're Woolery, you're laying off here a couple of times probably.
Also, those outside pitches are not competitive.
Yeah, exactly. It's just what I was going to say. Gerhard hasn't been close, so you got to get something you like here, and got nothing good at all there. So the bases are loaded and nobody out, just as Ohio State had in the top half. Came away with just one. And now Megan Grant, who's got a 3-run homer tonight, steps up.
Makes me think, did they just load the bases for Megan Grant?
Yeah, I'm telling you, between these two teams, you just can't pitch around anybody, top to bottom.
Seems like a silly move because you've seen Megan Grant hit a home run in this contest, and not just a home run, a sky-rocketing home run. It was in the trees. So there was no mistake in that home run. There's been a few that we've been seeing if it's going to go out. There was no mistake. We knew right away that that one was going to leave the yard. So
Buckeyes, of course, bringing their infield in. The 0-1. That's a high fly ball. Deep to right field. Grand slam. Megan Grant thereby finishing the ball game. Oh, my goodness. '22nd Mercy Rule victory of the year for UCLA. That is a brand new Bruin single season record. Did not see that coming tonight or tomorrow for that matter. in the least, especially the way things got started. Yes, the Bruins had the 8-run second. Thought there may have been a chance at that point. But then the Buckeyes fought back, Charlotte.